Okay, the other day I was on TikTok and I saw this video of a guy going over how the Pentagon released information about the UFO sighting that we saw, like, what was it, like 2 weeks ago?
Mhm.
And he was talking about how the Pentagon, after we had to wait like 180 days, and they said that they're going to release information about aliens or something, just things that we don't really know about yet. And I read an article about how back in the days, the government was 10 years ahead of us. As in ahead of us, I mean by like civilians. So us as people, we don't know what the government knows. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So there's speculations that say that 300 years ahead of us is what the government is at now. That the
Like
government,
technology wise or
technology wise and informational wise. So they are 300 years ahead of us. So the fact that a UFO sighting came out 2 weeks ago means that that shit probably happened about like who knows how long ago, you know?
Mhm.
We don't know when that happened. It didn't happen on that day because they wouldn't release information that fast. So what I'm thinking is that what if they do know information about aliens or things in that nature about,
extraterrestrials?
huh?
Extraterrestrials? Whatever you
Yeah,
say.
like like things that are gonna happen to us essentially, or like maybe they're planning to do shit to like fuck with us in general. So there's this other thing that I saw going with this, that there's a timeline. Every single year, every single country has the amount of people that are gonna die. Like how many people are gonna be alive, how many people are gonna die in the year. Like an estimate, how many people are born. You know, like the estimations of how many people are gonna be born in a day, how many people are gonna be dying in a day.
Yeah.
So there's a gap in the U.S. where I don't know when it is, but it's in a couple years where there's a like literally a fucking dip in like 10 million people,
What the fuck?
and they don't know why there's gonna be a dip. So the reasoning that I'm thinking is that people are saying that they're gonna make a alien invasion conspiracy, like make people believe. That's why they're telling people that there's UFOs to make people start believing in aliens, so that we can start killing off population like China does, or like other,
Oh shit.
like the way other countries do. So countries, you know how they said that like when first COVID came out, they're fucking thinking it was like a way to get rid of people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the same concept that they're releasing the information about the UFOs so that we can figure out what it is, or so that they can make the civilians who are 300 years behind, which 300 years is a lot. That's like what? That's like 4 generations from now. Like my great great grandkids will know what I was supposed to know now. If you
Oh fuck.
like what my great great grandkids are gonna find out is happening was happening right now.
Bro, that shit gave me chills, bro.
Like if you really think about it. So the UFOs, who knows how long that shit came out ago? Maybe we weren't even born yet when the UFO was seen. At the end of the day, the picture that they showed us was super blurry. And on top of that, we have technology now that if a plane like the spy planes, they go thousands of miles per hour, zoom by, our satellites are able to pick it up in picture by frame. How do we not know what this UFO is? That's all we got was a blurry picture. So I think that they're preparing us for a fake alien invasion so that when people start disappearing, they have something to blame it on so they can start killing off the US citizens.
How do you think that show would get pulled off though?
How would what be pulled off? Like them just making people go missing?
Yeah.
Think about it. People go missing every day and nobody knows what happens to
I
them.
know. But like, what do you think they're planning? If
Like,
that's true.
if that's true,
Yeah.
so I think that they're gonna pick off the people who are less fortunate, of course,
Like the homeless.
like the homeless, and the people who are like in poverty. You get me? At the
They
end of
think
the,
the people would take the most money.
not the people that take the most money, the people who make the less money,
Yeah, that
people
makes
that
sense.
have no, basically that don't really help improve the government. At the end of the day, this year is the U.S. highest year in stocks improvement. Okay, the reason why China, usually China's ahead of us, but we're ahead of China, and then the second that China finds out that we're ahead, they allow for their kids to have three, for parents to have 3 kids,
No one extra kid.
an extra kid. There's just three. It used to be 1 kid, then they upgraded it to two, now it's three. So the reason why they want a third kid is because their working rates are going down.
So they need
There's
more.
a lot of more people in retirement, and a lot of less people working. So they need more workers. If there's a lot more people working, there's more money being made. The stock market raises. At the end of the day, the stock market is what controls the world, which is why I think cryptocurrency is the way for people to have a world round, world round currency, which is what cryptocurrency is. It's a world round currency. I can go to Egypt tomorrow and people will have Dogecoin. Everybody's using this currency. It's not just, I can't convert US dollar to the Egyptian money, or go to Venezuela and use their currency of money, or go to Mexico. Everybody has cryptocurrency. Everybody has Bitcoin. Everybody has Ethereum. They have these currencies, and I think that that's what's going to control the world in the future. And like how many people die. They only changed their speculation of how many people would die when the Pentagon released the information about the UFO. So when the information about the UFO was released, this website that calculates how many people are going to die in the years, I think maybe it was like 20 million or 30 million people. There's going to be a dip in 30 million in like a couple years.
In the U.S.
In the U.S.
Alone.
Only. There's just a dip in the U.S. and they don't know. Like, these websites just do their calculations and that's what they gave us. They don't give you reasonings like, bad health, blah, 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 like shit like that. They just, boom, dip.
And how many years?
It was like in a couple years. Probably in like 10 years, but that's a couple if you think about it at the end of the day. That's not far away. We'll be, 28? 27? There's a dip.
So they'll use aliens to fucking...
I think that they're going to make it into an alien invasion as a cover-up story for the murder of people. Just like other, like, huh?
Like they're going to be playing up in like fucking... Like,
no, I feel like they're gonna make people disappear, and that's what they're gonna blame it on. At the end of the day, if I walk outside tomorrow and I disappear and nobody knows where I went, it could literally just be that they wanted me to disappear. If there's people, civilians like me and you, there's people in Mexico who go missing every day.
Yeah.
And just because the people are that powerful. At the end of the day, the world that we live in the U.S., there's not much power that the people carry. The government carries the most power. So if they really wanted us to go missing, we would. So how easy would it to be if we're going down an alley and we go missing, for them to blame it on an alien after they're going to start releasing alien information? Who else would they blame it on? Do you think that people are going to be like, oh no, the government's stealing them? If we're telling you that there's aliens, and for generations and generations, people have been saying the alien abductions. We've seen movies as this as kids where an alien steals a cat, or like an alien steals a dog. There's movies that I see the other day that it was about a cat that gets stolen by an alien, and he's just stuck on the UFO with them. Like, camera's vibrating. Fuck. I was moving my desk. Yeah, so like at the end of the day, they have been implanting this shit in our heads for years. Just the same thing with every other thing. They implant things in our heads so we can know. Or they like they hint at things at the end of the day.
Yeah. Bro, have you seen the movie The Fourth Kind? I think it's called The Fourth Kind.
No.
Dude, that shit's a trip. So it's basically about like a lady. It's a fucking helicopter. Not a helicopter, it's a fucking plane.
I can't hear it. I'm good.
Alright. So there's this lady. She has 2 kids, boy and a girl, and the girl's blind. And her husband died. Supposedly a man killed him. An intruder. And so the whole movie is about her like fucking like just going downhill after that. And her like fucking seeing like a white owl, and supposedly that like there's like it's like a symbol for like aliens or some shit. I'll have to look it up, but it's like a symbol for aliens. But basically it shows like actual footage of like the lady like fucking like her fucking jaw opening like fucking like so wide that it like unhinges. I'm about to show you the fucking movie, bro, because I can't explain it that well.
Yeah, I'll find a clip of it.
I don't want to see it, bro. Not right now.
You don't want to see it right now? Is that bad?
I'm just that bad. Like it scared me because as a kid, My grandma used to watch the video, not the
Mm.
video, but the movie. And I remember walking in when I was eating ice cream. And I remember sitting down with my grandma, my uncle. There, or watching. I see that scene, bro. And I'm like, scars me, bro.
Okay,
Like,
so you know how there's like a lot of ghost conspiracies.
mmm.
I'm just gonna hit you with it real quick. So
No,
I'm just gonna hit you can't act like that, bro. Especially that you're by yourself, by the way. Let's not forget. So a lot of Mexican people or like Hispanics, they know a lot about like brujeria, which is like witchcraft. Okay.
bro.
So what is like
No,
the like
eat that shit.
you know how like there's the most common like witchcraft like thing you see is like the blood, like chicken feathers, like they give offerings to, hypothetically speaking, the devil. So they give
Goats and sheep.
like yeah, goats and sheep and chickens, like chicken feathers, and they pour blood on them to make offerings.
Mhm.
So the other day at the shop, which is my mom's place of work, there was in the corner there was candles and feathers, and it looked like there was blood, like chicken feathers. By the way, there's no chickens in the area, so somebody put it there,
What kind of candles?
like just normal candles,
White?
no red, and there was blood. Okay, so my mom calls up a lady and tells her what it is, and she's like, "Okay, please don't touch it. Like you have to get it blessed before anybody touches it. Nobody has to touch it. Don't do that." Basically,
No.
a lady, there's a store right in front, and the lady that works there was like, "Oh, it's bad for business. People are looking at it every single time they walk out." So she picks it up with her hands. It's just 3 4 months ago. So a lot of people know, like in Hispanic families, if you see things like that, you do not touch them
No, you don't fuck with
because
shark.
like you don't, if you don't believe in like you don't want to fuck with the devil and you don't want to be a part of the witchcraft, you don't touch anything that can even connect you. If they tell you this pencil is connected to the devil,
Don't even.
you don't touch the pencil. That's just the way it works. So if you see an offering, that's even closer, you know? So the lady touches it. Then she sees nothing about it. 5 months pass. This is true story, by the way. 5 months
Mhm.
pass, and her workers are there. And she said that one of the cash register ladies was charging somebody, and she said that she saw somebody like she saw a figure like fly towards her inside the room, and the lady quit the next day. Like she quit when she saw it. So she thought that the lady was crazy because she was an older woman, of course. Mexicans, you already know,
Yeah.
they're all like Hispanics. They just think like, okay, this lady's crazy automatically. Like just get her out of here. She's crazy. Then there's a younger boy, and he said that he saw something as well while he was cleaning. So now 3 people have quit because there's scary things, and now the lady wants to shut down the store because she says that things keep happening in there. She keeps hearing things, she keeps seeing figures in there, and only since she touched the thing. So they think that maybe they put like a bad omen on the thing, and then she kind of affiliated herself with it because she touched it.
You don't fuck with shit like that, bro. You don't fuck with shit like that.
You don't touch those things. Honestly, at the end of the day, like when you see blood in general, you don't touch it, bro. It's like the people like if you see a needle on the floor, do you pick up the needle? No, you don't touch the
No.
needle, bro. You don't know what it has. If you see blood on the floor, you don't touch it because it stays on you. But of course, the people that like are most terrified of witchcraft is the one that touched it. Anyways, now she wants to close the business.
Yes, like fucking bad luck.
It's bad luck. And she's seen things. She saw a big black figure. We're talking like massive. She said that it was like half the size of the building, half the size of the room. That was floated towards her. It was like on the top of the roof, floats towards her. Towards her.
Honestly, we're like fucking like gone to church like every day.
You can't fix it. They
I
don't.
know.
Anyways, well, she
No,
doesn't.
no,
She
no, no,
doesn't.
no, no. I'm talking about if I was a worker there and the one who quit,
Oh,
I would have fucking gone to church, bro. Like,
what are you supposed to do at that point?
no, you can't do anything. You're fucked.
You're fucked. If you go get blessed, what's gonna happen?
Nothing.
Nothing. The second you touch it, you affiliate yourself with things like that.
Yeah. God's like, yeah, fuck you.
It's
Well,
like it's
I believe in God. Yeah, you know.
yeah. So like when people touch things like that, a lot of people like people believe in ghosts and like being able to speak to them. So imagine people that don't
But
want to
what
be
do you,
affiliated with ghosts
yeah.
or
What do you think
stronger
I
spirits.
don't want to? What do you think I don't want to play with the Ouija board?
I know. I still want to.
I don't.
I
Never do.
definitely would. I could. I think it. I think that shit's cool. No, not for you.
No, not for me. I was raised to like not fuck with shit like that.
You
I
see,
don't
my
fuck with any
my,
shit like that.
my mom always told me not to touch things like that. But at the end of the day, it's like the things they tell you not to do is the things you want to do.
No, that I don't fuck with.
Bro, it's just sometimes you just gotta do it.
I'm never gonna do it. And I promise you that. I'll never do it. I promise you, bro. I'll never do it.
Never.
Never. Never.
Well, there's a lot of things I said I wouldn't do, and I do them.
Yeah, and that's one of them.
That's one of them.
It's not something. It's not something we've talked about. Okay, that's the things I say I'll never do. That's different. This is not spiritual. That was not spiritual related. I don't fuck with shit like that. That can affect me.
Well, you fucked with shit that can affect you.
Like, what? Not wearing a condom?
Yes. That's for one. Like, bro.
But no, I'm talking about spiritual.
Okay, so you're telling me what your physical matter is less important than your spiritual matter.
What do you mean?
Like your beliefs spiritually matter to you more than how your physical health is.
Me fucking with the Ouija board can
It will
affect my physical health.
not your physical health. How? It's a spirit. It can't physically do anything to you. It'll mind fuck you, and it'll trip you out, but it won't physically do anything to you.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to experience that.
Okay, so you're more terrified of your spiritual matter.
Yeah.
I'm not. I can't be.
Yeah, so I'm fucking terrified.
So you rather off not play with the Ouija board and get shot?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I would never fuck with that shit, bro. I'm just telling you, never in my life.
I don't get it. I think that like these things are made for a reason.
Yeah.
Like what if like hypothetically speaking, like knock on wood, all that. If one of your family members dies and they tell you like oh I really want to talk to you before I pass, you know?
No.
And this is the only way you can talk to them if you really think about it. You know how there's mediums, you know what a medium is, correct? Would you go to a medium?
No. Because not my religion to do that shit.
So you wouldn't go against your religion?
No.
Okay. You know there's Catholic mediums, correct?
Huh?
There's Catholic mediums. Being a median doesn't mean you're not Catholic. At the end of the day, being a median is something that you're born with. That's your connection. At the end of the day, you know how just like people think that people have a third eye and shit like that.
Operas and shit?
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, that's like you don't have to believe that they see real people, but at the end of the day, if I go see a median and my family member passes, they can tell me, like the family member will tell them who I am, what my name is, when I was born, and things that only me and that family member would know, without me giving the median any prior knowledge. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's why that's why I believe in medians, and I believe in ghosts because I know that at the end of the day, if there's people that are able to talk to these people, and it's like I think it is pretty like confirmed because I've had family members who go to medians.
You told me before.
Yeah, like I have stories about medians, you know, and I want to go one day, like just to experience it because this is like that's a life-changing experience. At the end of the day, people like get reunited with their family members because of it.
They're very emotional.
Yeah, you become very emotional. You're in a different state of mind, you know. Is that a wrap?
Got it right? That
Is
shit
it?
was interesting. No, no,
I can. It's not a wrap.
I don't think so. That shit was like. Have you heard of duendes? I hate talking about this, but
Duendes.
duendes.
Duendes. I feel like I heard of it. Is it like?
I got you right now.
Is it like a? It's like an animal, huh?
No.
Or is it spirit?
No.
No. What is it?
It's some stupid.
It's something
you know,
Hispanic for sure.
Yeah. So I was a kid.
Okay.
She was okay. I'm gonna send you a link tomorrow. I'm not gonna ask you today. Of a duende.
I'm looking
Right.
it up right now.
So yeah, look it up. It's basically like a gnome or a creature. It can like take over like dolls. And my mom
Okay,
told me,
so on the internet, a duende is a folklore from Spain, Portugal, or Latin America, and the Philippines. Is a supernatural being or spirit that resembles a pixie or imp.
yeah,
So they're like gnomes, yeah,
yeah, gnomes.
like this.
Bro, I'm looking at shit. I'm looking at shit.
You scared of them?
Yeah, fool. Serio.
Okay,
Bro,
tell me your
I, I,
story.
s- I scare myself, bro, as a kid, bro. Because I used to love looking at videos. And boom, wouldn't be able to sleep.
Okay, so there's old people like depictions of them.
Yeah,
Oh, this shit's real, huh?
yeah.
You gotta
Did
look
I?
at this. You gotta look at it,
No,
bro. You have to.
I'm not, bro. I swear.
All right,
I'm
never mind
terrified.
then. Never mind
Bro, what the fuck?
then.
What the fuck, bro?
that's that's from a famous artist,
I'm terrified, bro.
Francisco Goya, 1799.
I'm
He drew
terrified.
that. He drew that. So what are they? What do they do?
Mm, fuck. I haven't talked about this shit with someone
Come
in
on,
like years.
enlighten me.
Huh?
Enlighten me.
Enlighten me.
I definitely just fucked up my
So,
candy.
my mom told me, this is what my mom told me, so I had like no research on it. So,
Okay.
my mom told me that she was like, not she, but my uncle. Let me just tell you what they do first.
Okay.
So, basically, if you see one out, you'll for sure see them in the night. Like in Mexico, you know, like those streets are like all dark and shit.
Yeah,
Like they're
because
basically empty.
yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like if you just see one, bro, it's supposed to look really bad look, and you're supposed to run away and close your eyes.
Okay.
And some of them actually, okay, there's good duendes and bad duendes.
Okay.
So supposedly the good ones you can see in the day.
The good ones you see in the day.
Yeah, good ones you see in the day.
Okay.
Bad ones you see in the night. And there's always like a bunch of videos. Like there's a bunch of videos online.
So there's videos on the internet of these. Like
Yeah, some of them look fake, but some of them look fucking raw, bro.
okay.
Some of them look raw, bro. Like I know you can edit shit like now easy as fuck, bro, but some of them look raw as fuck. I'll show you tomorrow, bro, because they're hard to find. But okay, want me to tell you a story about my uncle?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, my uncle, his name is I forgot his name. Figure my uncle is okay, he's in Mexico. So left after a party, he was drunk,
Yes.
and he woke up the next day, listening to the alarm clock, and the alarm clock's going on like dee 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 dee. He wakes up.
Mm.
He looks at his corner of his room. He sees the duende like going with the sound of the fucking alarm.
Alarm.
Alarm. He's like dee dee
Okay.
dee dee, and he just started looking at him. I'm getting fucking chills again. So he just started looking at him. He's fucking like he's shocked.
Yeah.
Cause you don't think shit like that's true. Right?
You don't believe in those type of things.
You don't think that shit's real. It's just like, oh, it's a scary thing.
Yeah, just like Llorona, but then there's like
He's like fucking
there's you know
like
like
fuck.
like there's a lot of stories about her.
Yeah. So he's there, and once the thing stops, he ran outside. He ran outside to go with my tia, who lives like right next to him.
Yeah.
And he was like, ven para acá. Hay un duende en la casa. And they go in with like pants and shit.
You should translate.
Come back, come to the house. There's a duende. No.
Yeah, which is yeah like the bad creature
Yeah,
in the
there's like
house.
this creature in the house. And bro, they get pants. They start running inside. Boom, it's gone.
It was
Bro,
gone.
that story haunts me, bro.
Haunts you.
Because I love going to Mexico, bro.
So
And
the
I've
thing
been
is,
outside in the dark, and I've
and
seen weird people outside.
yeah.
Outside
So
of the dark.
the thing is about Mexico is that the Aztecs used to live there and they used to believe in these type of things. At the end of the day, wrote stories and stories about things that they would see, and at the end of the day, the Aztecs used to believe in gods, and If there's gods, there's demons.
Yeah.
So they
This
used to,
girl is back.
they used to believe in these things. And also in Mexico, like when something happens in your town, everybody finds out about it. You know,
Quick.
so like quick, because at the end of the day, like,
Everyone's
and
united.
also in Mexico, you live super close to your family members. Like your family member is your neighbor. Like that's just the way it is. Like most of the time, like when I go to my family's house out there in Mexico, we go to a party in the little like little cut, and then literally next door was my uncle's house, and then two houses over was my tia's house, and then my their kid's house was across the street. But then the second it hits like 7 o'clock, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
You don't see anything. The only thing you can see is like, and then when you're trying to walk back to your house, somebody turns on the car light so you can see where you're walking. Because at the end of the day, it's pitch black. They don't have no electricity like lamps and. Because if I go outside right now, I have lamps outside. Like you can see my street.
Yeah.
But there, it's pitch black. So you can see things like that. There's actually something super similar in I think in an Asian country or in one of those type of countries where there's like a version of Slenderman that they say if you see him,
Oh, hell
they,
no.
they say if you see him that he's gonna take you, and that there's people that have gone missing that they claim they have gone missing. So basically, I guess it's like kind of like a duende where they are looking like it just happens to the unfortunate people that just so happen to come across these people. You know, so basically there's a story about a girl who sees it and she's like sad the whole day, like what the fuck, like I'm gonna die later. Like there's nothing you can do, and then her dad tries to like save her, and then basically like the daytime is coming, and then the second that she's about to walk out, like she goes missing. Like she walks out and she gone. She was gone. Like her family never saw her again. They said that like she said that she saw it because her parents didn't see it. At the end of the day, like your parents tell you these stories to scare you, to make you behave. You
Yeah.
know, like I've gotten told so many like things like that because maybe your parents told you that story just so you would behave. But these parents said that her daughter, that they told her daughter the story just to mess with her, and then when they saw it, like when they saw how scared she was, they believed her and they helped her. So they were trying to take care of her, and the second it was like say it's like about to be nighttime, about to be daytime, that's when she went missing, and her parents never saw her again.
Bro, that shit's fucking insane, bro. I used to be like fucking crazy into Slenderman, bro.
I never really like felt like watching things like that. I never watched scary things at the time because my family's always been like very into that like supernatural and like ghost type of things because my sister claims she can see ghosts and shit like that. So I used to always hear like stories of what she would see. It would always just like catch me off guard and make me feel uneasy, so I wouldn't do it. Like I wouldn't fuck with things like that.
I would scare myself, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't into like risking feeling scared and all that. I just couldn't.
Bro, that's just crazy to this day.
It is crazy.
I don't not like once I grow like to a certain age, I'll stop like believing that shit. But now it's
No,
just growing and growing.
it grows because at the end of the day, this is when like you know how like when you're a little kid, you believe in aliens and like you don't think those things are real, but then now that they're releasing information about unidentified things in the sky, when for decades there's been unidentified things, except somehow we're still being able to get like framed pictures of it. That's what kind of catches me off guard is that we don't exactly know what the picture is.
Yeah. And all of a sudden it fucking pops up.
hmm All of a sudden now they're saying that they're making us like giving us a countdown of when information is gonna be released.
An exact countdown.
It's kind of weird. Like if
Yeah.
they're like they're just having us play their game. Did you see that? Did you watch that video, that TikTok that I sent you about the fake alien interrogation?
Yeah.
You watched it?
I watched it.
So the thing that kind of tripped me out about that like alien interview thing is the fact that when they asked I don't know if it's real, I don't know if it's fake.
No, it looks CGI.
Yeah, like I don't know what the fuck it looks like. But so all I know is that the way that the people like, even those people, because at the end of the day, they took the time out of their day to make other people believe in those type of things. So they're looking at this thing. They ask it, "What is death?" You know, and I don't know if you paid attention to it, but it was saying that like death is like something that you shouldn't like fear, basically, and saying that like death is something that like everybody has to go through.
Yeah, it's natural.
He said that like you and I, like he's talking to the people like as in like he's something like us, you know, like as humans, even if it's fake. And he's still like the way that they're trying to make it seem is that everybody's going through it, and that at the end of the day that you come back. That's kind of what he was talking about. Like so maybe
Resurrect.
like I don't know if you resurrect, but it maybe like you have like some type of
Reincarnation.
reincarnation or things like that, you know. But it's just weird that like people take the time out of their day to make these things so other people can believe them. So, but when the government, okay, for decades and decades, we have been told that there's UFOs, correct?
Yeah, as long
People,
as it can.
at the end of the day, if you tell me something and if I don't believe you, you would do anything for me to believe you, correct? If you really care that much, like
Yeah,
if I,
if I care that much.
yeah, if you care that much and you don't want to seem crazy, you're gonna do anything you can to make somebody believe you. Nobody just thinks of something one day and is like, you know what, I'm gonna make a fake picture of it so I can show you. You know, these people believe in this stuff so much that they're taking the time out of their day to make these fake pictures, to make these fake videos, just so we can believe them. The U.S. and the government has telling us like, oh, when these pictures go viral, somebody always responds like, no, that's impossible, it's not real. But after years and years and years of us thinking that these things are fake, now there's a picture of a UFO, something that's unidentified in the sky. It's just kind of weird that after all these years of people telling us that these things are real, that all of a sudden it goes missing. That all of a sudden, like all this information always goes in the dust. You know, it's just like a trend. But now this thing, when they tell us that there's a UFO that we don't even know what it is, it like there's no information on it. It's just a picture that the Navy released on the coast of California.